Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Do you want massive momentum, major money, and magnetic millionaire energy in your business and bank account? If you had an expert you trusted lay out a proven strategy for you, step by step, to get you to consistent $20,000 to $50,000 months without burning yourself out, would you do it? And this, my loves, is why I created the brand new, ultra exclusive ProjectME with Tiffany Carter Mastermind Live Experience 2021. Picture 2 days with my crazy ass hanging out at a multi-million-dollar oceanfront beach house, mapping out exactly how you will get to your next big income goal with absolute clarity. There will be VIP beach photo shoots, a sunset abundance cocktail hour, plus other luxuriating surprises. Now, this is strictly by application only, as I will be hand selecting 15 of you who I feel are the perfect fit for this mastermind experience and will get a significant return on investment from attending. For all the details and pricing and to apply, go to projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. The link is also in my bio on Instagram at ProjectMeWithTiffany. And of course, you can DM me with any questions if you aren't 100% sure if this is the right fit for you right now. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and posse. I'm your host, Tiffany, and today we're going to talk about feeling like a fraud. Feeling and speaking with the energy of confidence when you don't have all the customers, all the testimonials, all the results, all the money flowing in yet, the big network marketing team being on the leaderboard, the accolades, the followers, the engagement, the downloads yet, right? It's really easy in a sense to have confidence when all the external factors in our life are lining up exactly as what feels comfortable to us and what makes us feel confident. I mean, starting a podcast, if I started and my first 10 episodes, I had thousands and thousands and thousands of downloads and I was on the new and trending board, man, I would have been so freaking jazzed and I would have been able to show up with even some swagger going on and that kind of thing. I posted, after my first, 70 or so posts, I'm in 30 days, I'm growing by tens of thousands of followers. Like all these people claim to miraculously have happened using Reels on Instagram. Who is sick as fuck of hearing that? If I see one more Reel where it's like, how did I grow to 70,000 followers in 30 days? And then it's then she has some music where she bops her head. And then the reveal is, by using Reels. And it's oh my God, shut up. It's not that simple. I'm not saying that there isn't an anomaly, right? To where there are people who've gone viral with Reels. I have a couple clients that have gone viral with Reels and they got a shit ton of followers for it. They did get tens of thousands of followers. But a lot of those followers weren't necessarily ideal clients, although a lot were in these cases. But the reality is they went viral after learning my emotional-based sales techniques and my profitable content strategy. So their creativity and their timing and using trendy music and yada, 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 all those elements, right? That helped them go viral. But because they had a profitable content plan and structure in place, when they went viral, then a lot of those people were ideal clients. Okay. But also a lot weren't. And then they had to start deleting these people because it was dragging down the algorithm in their account. So we don't just want followers. We don't just want clients. We want ideal clients. We want potential customers. Our ego might want the rest, but our bank account doesn't seem to give a shit. Our bank account doesn't want random numbers. Your bank account doesn't lie. You know what I'm saying? Your bank account doesn't lie. I would love to be able to peer in to the business bank accounts of these people spewing this stuff. Do I think there's probably a small percentage of them where their bank account matches? Yeah, because there always is, right? Just like in those weight loss ads or supplement ads where they say these results aren't typical. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. It's 1% of people have the results, and that's what they use to advertise with, right? So there's always, like I said, there's always that 1%, but a majority, I coach a lot of them where they're like, I don't get it. My reels get all these views, I have all these followers, but no one's buying my stuff. So I coach a lot of those people too. I just went off on a tangent, but we know this is part of the deal when you listen to this show. But let's talk about feeling like a fraud. I started to feel like a fraud 6 months after I started this brand and this podcast, which was only 3.5 years ago. I wanted to quit. I felt like all I was doing was pouring out my heart, soul, energy, and time into creating, producing, giving. And no one was listening. No one was watching. No one was engaging. No, it's not like I had, tons of people signing up for my freebie or anything like that. And here I already owned a multiple 7-figure business, was already a successful entrepreneur for 10 years. I was a highly sought after speaker and sales trainer. I'm paid tens of thousands of dollars to do these trainings, plus a professionally trained broadcaster. And no one seemed interested in a damn thing I had to say under my business coaching brand, ProjectME with Tiffany Carter. And I was like, what the actual F? What is going on? I'd get 4 people on my Instagram lives. 2 were people from Calcutta that wanted me to pay for their mom's brain cancer surgery. My podcast had only about 5,000 downloads and a handful of reviews that I had to really, really beg people humbly and ask them to write. And on a good day, I'd wake up to 2 new DMs. One would be someone trying to get me to buy followers, and the other would be from someone I already kind of knew. And then I started feeling like a fraud because guess what? Here I was teaching what I'm teaching you today. Right? How to get consistent cash and clients online, how to start and scale a business. And in my eyes, I was failing. And I would say stuff to myself like, what a fucking fraud you are, Tiffany. And those of you who know me and who are longtime listeners know that the core principle I live by and operate my businesses under is integrity. So this felt terrible. I did not like this. I was like, this isn't working. This is not happening. This doesn't feel good. I'm over it. And it wasn't even ego. And it wasn't I had magical thinking all of a sudden, my business should explode after 1 month. I'm a realist. I'm a realist also because of a lot of life experience, right? Don't get me wrong. I get into fantasy thinking too. We all do. But I've also been, sidelined, and is it called godsmacked or gobsmacked? G-O-B smacked or godsmacked? Because I kind of like godsmacked. God smacks me sometimes, and with love, but is girl, what are you talking about? What you don't even, you've done lost your mind. But I am curious because I'm terrible with those phrases. And what does gob mean? If it is gobsmacked, what does gob mean? I don't get it. Okay. So I took all of this external stuff as a sign that maybe people weren't that into me. And this was just a silly, narcissistic, stupid dream. And what do I think I'm going to be? I'm going to all of a sudden be like Mel Robbins? Like, you're nuts. And thankfully, from doing years of grueling, deep healing work, I knew that you always pause and you don't make a permanent decision from a meltdown moment. That's never a good plan. I prayed, I cried, I begged the universe for a sign, and it takes me a while because I'm pretty stubborn, but I finally got to surrender. Not a half surrender state where you're like still negotiating. You know, it's kind of like fully surrendering is closing your eyes and like walking around your house in the dark confidently that you're not going to bang into something. Half surrender is like having one eye closed, one eye open, and like, you know, not trusting your surroundings and waiting for the other shoe to drop. I do a lot of half surrenders, but the magic happens once we're in full surrender. So that's where you've got to get yourself. And I got in that full surrender and I just said, listen, I'm at your mercy. I really need a sign. I need some kind of direction and guidance, and I'm willing to follow it because I want this to work. But I'm also open that if now's not the time, I will be humble. I won't like it, you know, but I'll be humble and I'm willing to listen. And if now is the time, but I just need to go about it differently, I'm also willing to listen to that too. So you've got to get really humble, and there's nothing like feeling like you're failing or like a fraud to get you to humility pretty damn quickly. So I woke up the next morning, and in my sink, I had a wine glass, which was appropriate because, you know, having the meltdown the night before, I for sure had some wine. And then, like I'm sure many of you do, when we don't feel like washing shit at the end of a night, we tell ourselves it needs to soak, and we put soap in it and hot water. So that's what I do. I'm like, well, it's not gross if you're filling it with soap and water and you leave it. And I go to wash that glass the next morning, and I'm very particular about my wine glasses. So it's like, it's nice shit. It's not like I'm drinking out of a Solo cup. And I broke it. And I broke it because I was trying to, like, I was holding on to it too hard. I broke it. I didn't cut myself, but I literally snapped off a piece of the glass. And instantly I heard God say to me, and this is what you're doing with your business, Tiffany. This is what you do. And I went, oh my God, it is what I do. It's my old familiar pattern of holding on too tightly, being filled with self-will, instead of allowing things to unfold as they're divinely meant to happen. I want to be in self-will. It's like my way of being in control, not being trusting that I'm being supported and taken care of by the universe, by God, by my angels, right? It's me wanting to hold on. And when we're holding on to something so hard, we're not allowing any room for ease to come in. We're not allowing any room for fun. We're not allowing any room for breathability, for the miracles, for the magic to come in, because we're suffocating the damn thing, trying to control it, trying to make it work, pining and forcing and pushing and strategizing and thinking and obsessing and overanalyzing. And we have literally snuffed out any of the magic. We've snuffed out the ability for God to get in, for abundance to get in. And I have a pattern of doing this in my life. And many of you do too, which is why I'm doing this episode. You know, but I wouldn't have realized that was my sign. Breaking the glass because God knew Tiffany can't do subtle signs. She needed one that like kind of almost like it, because it shocked me. When you break a glass, you're like, oh shit. You know, so it shocked me enough for me to wake up to it, right? But if I was on the phone when I was washing that glass, or watching TV while doing it and thinking about 1,000 other things, and I wasn't in true surrender, I wouldn't have gotten that message. So don't miss out on the key here, is that I had already surrendered, and it was a genuine surrender, a humble surrender. I was already surrendered and when that happened, so I was able to receive that divine guidance. A lot of you ask for a sign and ask for guidance, and then you're upset it's not come. It's not come. I don't see it. Or then you start questioning, was that feather a sign? Was this a sign? Why is there an Army helicopter going across the beach right now? That's very sketchy to me at the moment. Given the place of the world, when I see weird shit like that, I'm like, what's happening? That's very weird. And it was flying really low. I'm just going to take it that we're being protected. I'm going to take it as that. Okay, so you have to be in that surrender first. And that doesn't just happen because you tell yourself it's going to happen. You'll know you're in it because you'll feel it. Your blood pressure goes down. You sleep better. You might cry. There would be a sense of release. You don't feel as tight in your body. You're not as much of a bitch. Your intrusive thoughts soften. That's when you really know. You can't will yourself into surrender. Believe me, I've tried. It doesn't work that way. So with only about 3 weeks of staying in that energy of surrender, because I already had promised the universe, I'd already promised God, I said, whatever message you deliver to me, I will humbly follow it no matter how uncomfortable it is, how unreasonable it sounds to me, how awkward it'll be, how much I don't like it. I will follow it. I will be a true servant of this guidance. And I followed through. I had to do my part, and it wasn't always easy. And within about 3 weeks of staying in that energy of surrender, my business, my podcast, and my audience skyrocketed. And the more I stayed in the energy of surrender, the faster my business continued to grow with ease and flow, meaning without me having to force it and push it and grind it out. And this holds true. This holds true to this very day. And I have to remind myself of this often. Anytime that things start feeling hard, I feel energetically drained. Things don't feel like they're working. Stuff isn't falling into place. You know, even stupid shit like there's multiple things I post or emails that go out in a row, and no one seems to be really engaged. Like the engagement is low on them. People aren't, as responsive as normal. I always look at those. And if I see that going on and it's not just like a one-off thing, I'm like, okay, I'm not in surrender. I'm trying to force it. I'm trying to push it. I'm trying to control it. And I get myself back to that surrendered state. So how do you speak and be in that energy of confidence when you don't have that flowing in yet? You have to go based on that it is coming. It's just coming in divine timing. It's coming. You're not lying to anybody. You're speaking with confidence about your expertise, about the subject matter that you know about the topics you know about your own experiences in your life and how you've transformed. You speak with confidence about those areas instead of waiting for the external things to validate you. You're going to be in a lot of trouble, because now what you're basically saying is, in order for me to show up with clear confidence and show up with that zero fucks given energy that Tiffany talks about, I need to have more followers to do that. I need to have more clients to do that. I need to see something to work. I need to make money for me to believe this is going to work. In order for me to hire a coach, in order for me to invest back in my business, I need to see this is working first. Well, damn, aren't you demanding? Aren't you demanding on the universe? That is not an abundance mindset. An abundance mindset is, I know this will work. My job is to show up and shine in the areas that, I have a great skill set under, and show up as my best, be genuine and serve. And I know I'm going to be resourceful, and this is going to work. and not be so dependent on if you're worthy of doing this, if you're meant to do this, if this is a good idea, not be so dependent on the number of sales, the number of dollars, number of clients, the number of likes, the number of downloads on that. It will come, but you're getting in the damn way of it coming because you're being so desperate for something outside of yourself in order to validate whether you're worthy of doing this. And then you're really screwed, because then you're going to keep repelling that abundance with those kind of demands and those kind of requirements, and that kind of desperate energy is not attractive, and you can't fake energy. So you're going to keep repelling and repelling, and then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. See, it's not working. See, I knew it. No one is going to buy from me. See, this was a stupid idea. See? And really, the reason it's not working is because you have needy thinking. God, I remember when my therapist told me I was being needy. And I was like, excuse me? There is nothing needy about me. I don't need no man for money. I don't need a... And then she explained, like, you're needing external. This was like in a different area of my life than what I'm talking about with you guys today. But she's like, you're needing external proof in order for you to believe, and in order for you to be okay, and in order for you to feel good. And when we are basing our mood, whether a business idea is good or not, our success, our joy, our happiness, our self-confidence, our self-worth, on anything outside of ourselves, you're in a lot of fucking trouble, people. A lot of trouble. That's called codependency, by the way. You're in a lot of trouble, because that kind of energy doesn't usually attract the very things you want. It's a repelling energy. So using like a dating analogy, right? Someone shows up, let's say it's like a blind date. Someone shows up on a blind date, and a woman, let's say a woman's showing up, and she's in the energy of, oh my God, I hope he likes me. I need to see evidence that he finds me attractive. Like, I know I'm kind of cute, but I need to see that he likes me. Oh my God, he's so attractive. He seems so nice. He's successful. Like, is he looking at me? God, he's looking at his phone a lot. I don't know if he likes me. And you're in that kind of an energy. That's not hot. But you show up and you're like, I look fly, and I know I'm a catch and I'm a vibe. And let's see if, I connect with this person or not. Let's have a good time and see if I connect. And if I do, I do. And if not, then it wasn't meant to be. What is a more of a grounded confidence and attractive energy, do you think? Right? So many of you are doing desperate energy and exuding desperate vibes in your business. And I don't care how good of an actor you are, you can't outact energy. It just comes across. You know where mine will show up? I'll start oversharing and overposting. And I might not catch it right away, but I catch it pretty quickly, where I'll start doing like, but it's not coming from me wanting to post more because it's fun, or I'm in a launch, or it's a great idea, or whatever. It's me posting because, oh, well, that didn't work, so I want this. Like, I'm seeking some sort of external validation, right? And it's like, oh, hold on a second. That's not coming from the right place. So how do you speak and feel and be in the energy of confidence when you don't have all the results yet? You've got to show up and act as if it's going to come, but that you're not in charge of that when it comes. You might want to think you are, and your ego might want to think you are. You're not in charge. Your only job is to show up and do your best on any given day, and show up regardless, and be uncomfortable, and hire freaking help, and stop doing it alone, and taking risk, and doing things that scare you, and showing up knowing that I know this will eventually connect, and I'm going to do everything in my power to set myself up for success in this business, and then I'll let go of the rest. But if you're not doing everything in your power, and you're trying to have this great success in your business, but your strategy is, throwing shit together and hoping, and then you're pissed off that you don't have the results you want. That's called entitlement and crazy making. That doesn't work. When I say set yourself up for the best, you need to, you do. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't have a profitable content strategy, you don't know how to structure your offers, you've never had an online business, you don't know how to attract ideal clients, well, then you need to come to my freaking mastermind. And you can go, well, of course you're saying that, Tiff, because you're trying to sell it. No, I'm trying to help you. There's only, by right now when I'm recording this, there's 9 spots left. I don't need you to come. Okay, that's needy energy. I don't need you to come to know that this will absolutely set you up without a doubt to make multiple 6 figures in your business. No questions asked in this 2-day period. You will walk away with that, but you'll walk away with it by being in the energy of abundance in a beachfront with high-level people who want the same things, but who are also down to earth and have a good time, where you can collaborate and you can be yourself and let loose, and you might feel initially uncomfortable because they're just new people, but pretty quickly, these will be like your business besties. You'll feel so supported, heard, and loved. You're going to walk away with incredible photos of yourself that actually convert, not just pretty pictures. You're going to have an amazing luxury swag bag. We have an abundance cocktail hour. Your offers will all be mapped out. Your content will all be mapped out. You will have more done in this 2-day period than you've fucking done all year. And that's hard facts. It just is. There's the power of being in that abundant energy, the power of being in my energy and having my expertise and my ProjectME coaches all alongside you, along with all these other amazing people. You're going to walk away feeling so empowered, so clear, and with your shit together. And what an incredible way to end this year with, right? And walk into 2022 with that. But you have to do that. You have to be willing to go, no, I'm doing this for myself. I'm going to stop messing around here. I'm going to stop guessing. I'm going to stop with all the cheap and free stuff. It's okay once in a while. But if I really want what I say I want, and I want these results, and I'm upset, I wake up upset because I'm not getting them and the people aren't signing up, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. That is desperate vibes, desperate energy. Get into abundant energy and do the damn thing about it. And this is priced much, much lower than any of you are thinking in your head. So go look on the page. All the details are there, Virgo style. I've laid it all out. It's projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. Oh my God, how freaking crazy. As I'm recording this, because I'm looking at the ocean while I'm recording this at the beach house where the mastermind is, I'm not joking you, a giant mega yacht is going across the ocean. And I haven't seen a ton of mega yachts going through, because you have to have a pretty sizable yacht, I think, to go through these waters. It looks like someone's coming from Malibu and probably going to Catalina. That's really freaking cool. That's so funny how that stuff happens. Put yourself in a room and be surrounded with people who can show you how it's done. And even more importantly, be in that energy where you can be yourself and say what you're freaking scared about and get the clarity that you need. And we talk straight up about all the things that come up and how we overcome them. Because the reality is, I know that you know what the hell you're talking about when it comes to that area of yours that you're an expert in. It could be graphic design. It could be real estate. It could be accounting. It could be hormones. It could be weight loss. It could be managing anxiety. It could be hand embroidery. I have a client right now who is making $2 million a year off hand embroidery patterns on Etsy. and virtual classes. And she became a client because, fun random fact, I freaking love hand embroidery. Yes, thank you. The end. I know you're like, those of you who know me are like, really? I can't picture Tiffany doing that. It's a very soothing thing to do. I'm like, I really embrace my inner granny. Like, I do a lot of inner granny activities and many luxuriating activities, which you'll experience here. But I know what in the hell, you know what you're talking about. And I know you can help people, because even if you haven't like had a ton of clients yet, you've helped a lot of people for free. And then those of you who've had, clients, maybe it was in the corporate sector or whatever, but you have clients, you can help people. You know what it is that you don't know? You don't know how to fucking make money doing it on repeat online without killing yourself. That's what you don't know. That's where a lot of that insecurity and uncertainty comes from, is that. It's not that you don't know what the hell you're talking about, but stop looking at these external factors for validation and validate yourself and remind yourself why your ideal client at his or her worst would be absolutely fucking crazy to not hire someone like you. Go check out the mastermind. Don't wait on it. I'm closing the applications on October 8th. So that is the absolute last day that you can apply. The mastermind's the weekend before Halloween, but you have to go to the page to look at it. And that's at projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. You can also swipe up, and that link is in the show notes as well. If you loved this episode and the rawness and realness of talking about feeling like a fraud, because I don't feel like people are talking about this, because it's not, kind of not super attractive, right? To expose that about yourself. If you really appreciated this, take a screenshot, share it in social media, tag me so that other people can see the show and not feel so alone in that feeling. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.